Are you feeling nervous about your upcoming job interview? Don't worry, we've got you covered. In this video series, we will give you tips and tricks to help you feel confident and prepared.
Thank you for coming in today. Can you tell us about your educational background and professional experience in civil engineering?
Thank you for having me. I received my bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Mozapo University, and I also have a master's degree in civil engineering from the same university. I've been working in the field for the past 10 years and have worked on a variety of projects, including infrastructure design, building design, and land development.
That's impressive. Can you give us an example of a complex project you have worked on and how you managed to overcome any challenges that arose during the project?
Sure. One project that comes to mind is a large bridge construction project that I worked on a few years ago. There were several challenges that we faced, including environmental concerns, budget constraints, and a tight deadline. To overcome these challenges, I worked closely with the project team to develop a detailed project plan, which included strategies for minimizing environmental impacts, optimizing construction sequencing, and implementing cost-saving measures. Through effective communication and collaboration, we were able to successfully complete the project on time and within budget.
That's great. Can you tell us about a time when you had to make a difficult decision in your role as a civil engineer and how you approached the situation?
Definitely. I can think of a time when I had to make a difficult decision regarding the design of a new commercial building. The project team was divided on which design concept to pursue, and there were pros and cons to each option. To approach the situation, I conducted a thorough analysis of each design concept, taking into consideration factors such as safety, cost, and environmental impact. I also consulted with industry experts and conducted research to inform my decision. In the end, I recommended the design that I felt was the most viable and would best meet the project's goals.
That's a great example of your critical thinking skills. Can you tell us about a time when you had to lead a team of engineers and how you managed to motivate and guide them towards a common goal?
Sure. I once led a team of engineers on a large-scale land development project. The team was responsible for site assessment, design, and construction management. To motivate and guide the team, I established clear project objectives, communicated expectations and deadlines clearly, and provided regular feedback and support. I also encouraged open communication and collaboration and regularly checked in with each team member to ensure that they had the resources and support they needed to complete their tasks. Through effective leadership and collaboration, we were able to successfully complete the project on time and within budget.
That's excellent. Can you tell us about a recent industry trend or development in civil engineering that you find particularly interesting or promising?
Absolutely. One trend that I find particularly interesting is the increasing use of artificial intelligence and machine learning in civil engineering. These technologies have the potential to greatly improve project efficiency and accuracy, as well as to streamline design and construction processes. I have been keeping up to date with these developments, and I have been exploring ways to incorporate these technologies into my work.
That's great. Can you give an example of a particularly challenging project you've worked on as a civil engineer?
Sure. One project that comes to mind was a large-scale infrastructure project where we had to construct a new bridge over a major river. The project presented a number of challenges, such as managing environmental concerns, working with local stakeholders, and dealing with unforeseen ground conditions.
How did you address those challenges?
Well, for the environmental concerns, we worked with experts to ensure that we minimize the impact on the river and surrounding areas. We also held public consultations and engaged with local stakeholders to address any concerns they had about the project. As for the unforeseen ground conditions, we conducted additional surveys and used advanced techniques like ground penetrating radar to better understand the subsurface conditions and adjust our plans accordingly.
That sounds like quite an undertaking. Can you tell us about a time when you collaborated with other professionals on a project and how you managed that collaboration?
Yes, collaboration is key in civil engineering, especially on larger projects. One example that comes to mind is when I worked on a high-rise building project. I had to work closely with architects, electrical and mechanical engineers, and contractors to ensure that the project was completed on time and within budget. To manage this collaboration, I made sure that we had regular meetings and clear lines of communication. We also used collaborative project management software to ensure that everyone was up to date on project progress and any changes that needed to be made.
That's great to hear. Can you tell us about a time when you had to make a difficult decision on a project and how you arrived at that decision?
Sure. There was a time when we discovered that the soil conditions on a project were worse than we had anticipated. This meant that we needed to make significant changes to the foundation design, which would have added a significant amount of time and cost to the project. After weighing the options, we decided to use a new foundation technique that had not been used before on this type of project. This allowed us to stay on schedule and within budget, while still ensuring the safety and integrity of the building.
That's impressive. Finally, can you tell us about a particularly innovative solution you came up with for a project?
One example of an innovative solution I came up with was for a project that required the construction of a bridge in a remote area. Traditional construction methods would have required a large amount of equipment and materials to be transported to the site, which would have been expensive and time-consuming. Instead, I proposed using precast concrete sections that could be assembled on site. This reduced the amount of equipment and materials needed and allowed us to complete the project more quickly and efficiently.
That's very creative. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Just that I'm excited about the opportunity to use my skills and experience to tackle new and challenging projects in the future. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss my experience with you.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. We appreciate your insight and expertise. Good luck with your job search.
Thank you again. It was a pleasure speaking with you. We hope you found our video series on common job interview questions helpful. Remember to dress professionally and arrive on time, and to research the company and position before the interview.